You have seen him on Instant Star, Schitt's Creek, Winona Earp, and these days on Surreal Estate. It has been 4 years since we've had him on the program. We're really happy to have him back with us. Welcome back, Tim Rozon.
Hey man, I can't believe it's been 4 years. There's just no way.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I felt we had talked sooner as well, but it just seemed like I was like, oh my God, I haven't reached out in 4 years. I felt like a bad Geek Hard friend. I really did.
Well, it didn't feel like 4 years, if that makes it. When I got the email, it felt like it was a yearly thing. I was like, oh yeah, Geek Hard, let's go.
There we go. I'm going to try to get it back to being a yearly thing so we don't fall off the map again. There we go.
Perfect.
Oh my God. So Tim, season 3 of Surreal Estate has come back. A few weeks have happened. And, you know, watching this series as it goes, I'm really shocked at not so much the supernatural elements of it, but the fact that I feel like I'm learning something about buying houses from the show. You guys get really technical even on the house part, you know?
Yeah, oddly enough, that's the one kind of character choice I make when playing Luke. It's like, as an actor, I just told myself, okay, the one thing about this guy is that he loves selling houses. No matter what happens, no matter what ghost, demon, dog, entity, spirit from the other world happens, the guy wants to sell a house. So I'm happy that you're understanding the market resale value and all these things.
Yeah, I'm picking it up.
Yeah.
Haven't used it, but picking it up.
Well, it's not a market for everybody. That is something that I think we all could learn. But Tim, I have to, before we go any further, I got a bit of an elephant in the room. Your hair, man?
Yeah.
Your hair threw me.
Yeah.
It's very not dark brown / black, and it jarred me when I first saw it. Can you actually talk about why it's like this?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. In about a month I could. Listen,
okay.
I also don't walk around with a mustache. I can't sell haunted houses. I'm not an undead gunslinger. I do what people want. I show up to a hair and makeup trailer. A bunch of people talk about things, and I say, "Yeah, let's go." And this is what we get.
That's totally fair. So throughout your career, you've been pretty easygoing. You're not one of these actors that's like, no, you can't shave off my mustache. You can't cut my hair. It's got to be this. You're not one of those guys. You're just like, oh, just give me the work, whatever you want. I'm there. You're like Play-Doh.
No. Yeah, definitely yes. But at the same time, I feel like everybody's very collaborative. Like when Winona Earp first came out, if you watch the first couple episodes, that mustache wasn't what it becomes. That mustache became something else, and then everybody was like, "Oh, we were gonna shave it." I'm like, "You can't shave it. He's got to have this iconic mustache now." They're like, "Yeah, but I know you can't walk the streets like that." And I'm like, well, I am.
Watch me. Yeah.
I am already.
And like, hell, even didn't Candace Cameron Bure have to defend that mustache because you were doing a Hallmark movie with her and they wanted to shave it off there? She had to get the request to say she was okay with it?
I was one of the first people ever to have the stubble on Hallmark.
The stubble, okay.
Yeah. So I was able to get the stubble beard because I needed actually the beard for Vagrant Queen.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I needed to start that beard, and I knew Isaac from the comic book. He actually had a beard, so I needed to start growing that real beard. And they were able to just give me the stubble, which Hallmark was very much against at that time. Yeah. But now it's a bunch of plaid shirted guys, working.
You set the bar.
Yeah. I set the bar for stubble.
It's become the brand. Totally.
Yeah.
It was
everybody who watches the Hallmark Christmas movies can now thank Tim for all the male actors dressing and having like that and having facial hair.
Yeah. Well, I think she had a little more pull than I did at Hallmark.
No. Just you got to own this, Tim. This is all you.
Okay.
You changed the culture at Hallmark.
Amazing.
Changing the culture. Now, there's that, like, you just brought that up, though, about with the wanting to match the comic and everything like that. Is facial hair a big part of finding your character? Like, do you think if it isn't something where it's like you look at a comic book and know where you're like, what kind of facial hair does this character have?
I mean, it's been a big part of my career for sure. Oddly enough, I didn't realize it was going to be, but it became one. You know, like Much Shit was iconic for the beard. We did episodes literally about me shaving. When Much shaved was an episode. It literally was a whole episode.
Yeah.
Alexis was like, "Who are you? Get out of here." You know, Doc Holliday. Well, he has that mustache. I can't. You know, there was literally my favorite at the time Twitter handle of all time, you know, Doc Stash.
Yeah, Doc Stash.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, just the best of the best. You know, we had our own, that mustache had its own Twitter handles and Instagrams. I mean, I had to keep it.
Yeah.
Vagrant Queen, he had the beard, and then of course when it came to SurrealEstate, it was like, we got to lose that mustache immediately. Yeah. I remember that mustache was really hard. I was reading for Luke Roman while I was filming Winona Earp, and I had some allies. I had some allies at Sci-Fi at the time, and I had some directors that I'd worked before that were kind of telling George R. Olson, the creator, who liked my performances but hated my mustache in all the tapes I kept sending him. And they were kind of telling me, like, don't worry, he's got another look. We'll get past this mustache. And I remember I did the screen test and I had the mustache, and I could just see his face kind of like, I like him, but look at this thing. And he's not wrong. The guy wasn't wrong. I got off and I'm like, I'm doing Luke, but with the big mustache. It's not the same thing. You know what I mean? He wasn't wrong.
No, totally. Yeah, definitely. You know, after watching the show now, yeah, it does seem like Roman having any facial hair would be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I will admit, it was a bit of an adjustment, you know, without it, you know, because so used to seeing all these other roles with you having facial hair that it was like, oh, okay. But then it was like, you know what, really, it was season 3's haircut. That was the biggest adjustment while watching SurrealEstate. Season 3 started and I was like, oh, they've changed his hair. It was like literally the first thing I noticed about it.
Okay. Well, thank you for noticing, but they changed everybody's hair.
They changed
True.
a lot of things, and we'll get into that. But first,
Yes.
we got an email from Grant S., who says, "Hey, is Tim still juggling? Like SurrealEstate, so real. Are you still juggling, man? Because I remember back in the pandemic, you picked up juggling."
Yeah, man, not wrong. Not wrong. I actually found some juggling balls the other day, and
Really?
I was like, I got to check. I'm probably cubing harder than I'm juggling because I kind of learned the cube and the juggle at the same time. Still cubing pretty hard. But yeah, I can still juggle. I guess it's like riding a bike. I was able to pick it up, did 100 in a row. I felt pretty good.
Nice.
There you go. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
We got an email in from Monica O that says, "Tim, how's the restaurant business?"
The restaurant business is amazing. I just got back home to Canada last week. I've been gone, oh my gosh, 6 or 7 months. And I worked, what day are we today? Friday. So I worked Wednesday night. I'm still feeling it. I'm old, man. I was like, an old restaurant chef, man. It's tough.
Oh my God. Well, here's the thing though. Like, has Lord's hot sauce come out yet?
It has. We actually, up here in Canada, we just did our first collaboration with George St. Pierre, the UFC fighter.
Really?
Yeah, so his 2 sauces just dropped last week. He has 2 called Rush and KO. So I was also able to go to Lord's for the first time in a while since I've been back, and I grabbed a couple of those. And I went home, and let me tell you, that KO, I shouldn't be the salesperson because you can't eat that.
So it knocked you out. That's
knocked me out.
it.
I'm telling you, the Rush was delicious. It's got like chili oil flavors and kind of a fruit ting to it. But the KO is, who eats hot sauce like that? Why would you? Who does? Why? There's no reason.
I have a feeling that's probably the hot sauce I would go for.
Oh,
Yeah, no, he's crazy. I have another friend that same thing. He's South African, and he just unless it's like melting the flesh out of your mouth, he doesn't want to touch it. Like to him, it's that, and then it's pepper. And that's how he measures hot sauces. It's just everything is pepper until it melts your mouth out. That's it sounds like what you're saying here. That's what KO is like.
Yeah, we'll tell him I got a sauce for him.
Yeah,
no, definitely. Oh my God. But yeah, SurrealEstate season 3, a lot of new stuff. It does kind of feel like a bit of a new show. You know, you got the new location, new office. You gotta, and the thing for me though, the thing that excites me the most is this cool new hangout. You got a bar with a
Yes.
bartender who knows everybody's drink. What's it like having this new kind of like extra vibe to the show with the bar?
I love it. The Telltale Heart. I also, for some reason, my father was a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan, so I got all of George's references with the Telltale Heart. If that's from Edgar Allan Poe. There's the Raven, and they were quote. Well, I think we're gonna quote the Raven in an upcoming episode. I don't want to give too much away, but and there's some other Edgar Allan Poe quotes, and I knew them all.
Oh yeah.
I guess Dad came through, man. But yeah, I loved it. I mean, so 3 years has passed. Is what we're saying. I mean, to be honest, guys, 3 years passed between filming season 2 and
so it just makes sense that 3 years should pass in the show too.
Yeah, it felt great. Now, you should know also, I showed up with the regular Luke Roman hair. I always come prepared and try and bring back my stuff, but everybody's like, no, it's been a couple of years. Let's switch them up. Because it was the same hairdresser we had for season 2, Anasaurus, who actually was our hairdresser on Schitt's Creek. So she's been with me and Sarah Levy forever now. She's one of us. And she was like, no, let's try something new. I want to just lighten up your hair. We're going to just do a little more. And I said, guys, for me, as long as he's got a black suit, I can be Luke Roman. His hair, as long as it looks more coiffed, I was going to say than me, but I coiffed it for you today. Because normally I'm so verklempt, it's like ridiculous. But I was like, as long as it's kind of, done up more than I would do it, and you put me in a suit, I'll be fine. The hair is yours. You could do what you want with it. And
totally, yeah.
Well, wearing a suit like that too, right? Like that's the thing about Luke's look is that he, because he's a real estate agent, he's got to look the part. You've got to do all those things. And I'm thinking about your other characters, right? Like we've already joked a little bit about the fact, like check shirts and and jeans and and the cowboy chaps and like all that periphery of stuff, But here, Luke is fit and trim all the time. Mm-hmm. What is that like for you? Like is it uncomfortable? Are you like more of like a loose, clothing, like just relax, chill kind of outlook on life, and it's a bit weird putting on a suit all the time?
Yeah. I mean, like I'm weddings and funeral guy. I'm a normal, I'm a guy. Right. I put on a suit at a wedding and funeral. I own 2, one's black, one's blue. Okay, wedding, I'll wear the blue one. Blue funeral, I'll wear the black one. And that's pretty much how I go. I got one fancy watch somewhere. I'll bust that out also for a wedding or a funeral. Maybe a date. Maybe if it's an anniversary. But yeah, but like the suits for me, they're part of Luke. You know what I mean? So it's great for acting. I put on that and then I come out and I'm ready to go. It helps. Like hair, wardrobe, makeup, it's so important to characters and actors. It's not just an actor that creates a character sometimes. We get a lot of credit for it, but there's so many other people into it that put their touches on it that help me get to where I need to go. It's like when I picked out Doc Holliday's hat, I was alone in a room to pick up my hat, but there was like 50 hats to pick from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then it's just, you kind of pick the right one. And it's the same with the suits. Like they give me options and then we're kind of like, we normally agree on, that's the cool thing too, of kind of which look is the right look.
No, definitely. My God. Now this season, with, all these new things, another character is back. I see Tennille Reed is back as Megan. She was only in like one episode of season 2, kind of like writing the character out, but now the character's back in. Are we going to see a lot more of Tennille throughout the season?
Listen,
you're sworn to secrecy. You cannot say. I understand.
Yes and no. I mean, yes and no. Listen, I'll tell you this about SurrealEstate. It's like Tennille wasn't as much in her character wasn't as much in 2. Definitely going to be more in 3. Okay. Every character that you've met will be around at some point. In you know what I'm saying? We didn't forget anybody. It's not like anybody's been forgotten or any of that stuff, Actors work on other things.
Of course, yeah. No. Well, season 2 really showed that off, with the kind of like the way the storytelling was going there. It's like, okay, people got to work other places. We get it. So.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean. It's like SurrealEstate. It's had some things going against it. It was one of the first production coming out of COVID. Then we did the COVID thing. And where we were doing it was kind of an island that then was like blocked off. So could we bring people in? We couldn't. It was like a whole thing. And then, season 2, we weren't sure if we were coming back after for season 3. And then season 3, we literally moved. We don't even film in Newfoundland anymore. We're in Ottawa now.
Oh my gosh.
So everything changed. New crew, new location, new Roman agency. Like, we built it all again from scratch. Everything was new and fresh, kind of fun and exciting too. I loved my old crew. I'm loyal. I love the old people, but now I feel bad to say I really love the new people too. I just like people who are excited about wanting to do the job with us. And we've been lucky. Both crews really loved our show. So to be on a show where everybody kind of loves being there, it's nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I did notice the location change. Like, obviously, it starts off with the office change that kind of keys you into it. But then I saw that you guys had moved to Ottawa. And it sounds like overall that's been a really positive, good experience for you. Like the new crew and everybody is like it's vibing really well. What was it like for the show though? Because Newfoundland has its own kind of vibe and feel, just as a place and historically, and then going into a place like Ottawa, which is a little bit more modern and like a trendier kind of house look, is what I've already noticed in the show so far. Mm-hmm. What's that been like for you guys?
I mean, we leaned into it. We went for the super trendy house. I mean, you can see where the villain lives is kind of really cool. Yeah. We found a cool spot. That house is
that's an awesome house.
Awesome house. Yeah. And we'll explore all of that house. The view from that house is crazy. But the cool thing about Ottawa is, I'll tell you this, it's haunted too. To me, I can feel that vibe, the same vibe. There's something older about it. And maybe it's because the Parliament buildings are down there and there's a lot of history and you see the old war statues everywhere. Well, the same kind of thing with Newfoundland. It's like there's just a history there, and history seems to bring out unfinished business. And the unfinished business is kind of what we deal with at the Roman agency. And, when spirits have something that they kind of left behind or something they didn't deal with, and you can feel that in Ottawa. You really can.
No, totally.
So that part worked. It worked well.
Yeah, nice. No, unfinished business is definitely kind of the feeling with this year's villain. This time an actual villain instead of a house. But it's for me, I look at it, it's like, it's got to be fun for you that your nemesis has like a Silver Age comics name, Elvis the Elephant.
Yeah.
That's got to be a fun, I know that we're only getting pieces so far of the story, but it seems like it's going to be quite the interesting origin of Luke's connection with his former stuffed animal.
Well, we're going to see some more bonding, let's just say, between me and good old Elvis. But I'm really happy you picked up on that, because that's been a really fun, exciting part of season 3 compared to season 1 and 2. Season 1 was kind of, we dealt with that house where Megan lived, and then we did see eventually the character that was the house, which was, my mother was part of it, and it was a whole other thing, and it was, not great. But it was that. And then season 2, it was literally the house against Susan, kind of trapped her in, and we dealt, we were fighting Alexa, to be honest.
Yeah, never trusted smart homes before, trust them even less now. There you go.
But, to actually play against the villain for the first time, you know what I mean? Like, I've got a human being in front of me, and played by R. Austin Ball, who's just a really fun actor to play against. He also looks like my little brother, identical. Everybody calls me after, like, it looks like Dave. He looks like Dave. It's you and Dave on the screen. It's been really fun to actually play against a villain instead of like a wall or, Alexa. It's been fun.
Yeah, I got to imagine that would be difficult over the years of doing the show. Like, thinking about those first 2 seasons, you're right. Like, it's not always a person, it kind of makes me think about science fiction films and stuff, like the Marvel films, stuff like that. A lot of green screens and tennis balls kind of idea. But here it's you're literally looking at a wall in some cases.
Yeah.
Whereas
you're acting off a house. That's basically
yeah.
And I noticed this season, in regards to that, like your superpower, as it were, your the tingle, as we will not call it again for the rest of this episode. I did that joke.
That's all I'm calling it from now on.
It's just it's the tingle.
It's the tingle, the Tim tingle.
Tingle. Yeah. Well, no, it would be the Luke tingle.
I know it's the Luke tingle, but that's the
Tim tingle is just his, if he gets kind of buzzed on caffeine or something. Right?
Yeah. It's what happens when he has the mustache in full bloom.
Yeah.
Well, that would be the Tim Russell. There you go.
Well, Anyways, no. What I wanted to ask you about, Tim, was I didn't notice it as much in the second season, and I think it was in the first, but you have in the third, you do this like up to the house and you do like a side look, and like it's like, oh, hello, like kind of, like greeting to the spirit, as it were. Is that something that you brought to the role, or was this a discussed situation with the writers? Like, how did that come about?
This is known as a ping, gentlemen. That is a ping. You see, I wish we would say it once, because in every script it says Luke pings. He walks up to the house, he pings. I sound out a ping. But of course, we've never said, hey, Luke, are you pinging? So,
but you've actually used it in the past. I think in season 2, you said, I'll see, I can't get a ping anymore.
Oh, okay, good. So
yeah, you did say it at least once, because when you just said ping, I was like, oh yeah, no, that sounds about right.
It's interesting now to hear tingle and see what everybody else just comes up with themselves. It's fun. Luke's tingling, he's rustling.
Luke's spidey sense,
Yeah, so it was one of those things that we originally discussed. It was kind of, I remember we had talked about, so with George, of what to do, and he was he's just like, you're just going to send out a ping, and then we're going to do some stuff afterwards in post, and we'll do like a blue, 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 that will go through the entire house. Of course, I never saw blue, blue, blue after ever again. You just got me doing kind of like my River Phoenix, my own private Idaho, but that's what I'm doing. I'm literally sending out a ping vibration to sense spirits in the house, in the vicinity, and see what they're up to, whether they're good or bad or what they want.
Was it a little weird the very first time you did it? Like,
oh yeah, It is day one, brand new crew, first leading role. Don't forget that,
right.
God knows how many 20 years in the business. It was my first time. And so I was like, the pressure was on, and you walk up to a bunch of strangers like, all right, dude, now just go walk up to the house and ping. You got it, guys.
Suddenly, like, I have a feeling like your first attempt at the ping was like Blue Steel from
oh my God, that's exactly what I did. And someone like said, it's a little too Blue Steel, but bring like half Blue Steel it. I was like, no problem.
Oh my gosh, no, that's fantastic. Now, of course, you have you talked earlier about, usually playing like these, more flannel wearing type characters and stuff like that. And there's another character in an upcoming film that's coming out that kind of goes back to that kind of flannel look for you, Hunting Grounds. Can you tell us a bit what that film's all about?
Not so much. Other than it's coming out May 16th. I know that on like video demand and stuff. I'm gonna go. I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually gonna see it next Friday, the premiere, and get a sneak peek. But I'll say this about Hunting Grounds: it looks like a movie you might have seen before. Like if you watch the trailer, mob boss ex-wife is on she wants to get away from the ex-mob boss bad husband, takes her kids to safety, but she, doesn't quite escape. But then she was able to save the kids off, but then she gets out in the woods, and then you got the mob boss's henchmen out there looking for her, and then she runs into a bearded up, plaid wearing hunter guy who kind of helps her out there in the woods, or does he?
Oh, okay. Threw me for a curve there at the end.
Yeah, we like that. We like that.
Definitely looking forward to checking that out.
It's like you think you've seen this movie before, but have you? Is all I'm going to say about Hunting Grounds. Yeah, it was super fun. I did it with Komodo Films, a bunch of stunt guys who started their own production company making stunt movies. And I actually, I kind of stayed with those guys. I ended up EPing and producing my first movie last year with them, which is going to come out soon. I probably shouldn't talk about it, but I don't care. I'm excited. It's called Infiltrate. Yeah, and just think Jane Wick. It's about this girl whose husband gets kidnapped. She works for an agency. The husband gets kidnapped, and she just goes on a vendetta of ass kicking and until she gets her husband back. It's amazing. We have one 9-minute long fight scene that doesn't end, just doesn't cut.
Nice.
Fights for 9 minutes, and she is an absolute killer. It's amazing. She can really kick my ass any day of the week. It's amazing.
That's awesome. And Tim, you bringing up the stunt side of things, I'm assuming you heard recently that the Academy has finally come to their goddamn senses and are going to start recognizing stunt performers in the future. I got to assume that you are fully on board with this, from your years of having to deal with stunt people as well.
100%. I did another movie that's coming out also this summer called Protectors of the Land. And I did it with this guy named Laurel Lash Devalier out west. And he is as famous as anybody in the stunt business. As he was one of the Ninja Turtles. My claim to fame is now I've worked with all 4 Ninja Turtles, which is amazing.
All 4 from the 1990 Ninja Turtles.
They're all stunt performers.
Yeah.
I've worked with all 4. So I'm good, guys. I'm good. It took me 20 years. I've worked with all 4. And he's just a legend among the stunt guys. And so was the guys from Komodo kind of on the East Coast. And just working with them and watching their work ethic, it's inspiring, man. Like, we just did some crazy fun stuff. And just to get they deserve it. So I'm super happy.
No, totally. Now, back in the summer of 2021, which was the last time that I spoke with you, you did something with me for my other podcast, Back Issue Bloodbath, where we talked about the Galactus trilogy, Fantastic Four 48 to 50. Now the Fantastic Four film, the new one, is coming out this summer in the same month as another big one, the new Superman film. What are are you excited that these 2 big heavy hitters are coming out?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody who knows me knows the Silver Surfer. I actually found this right before I saw you. Right before I came to see you.
Nice.
Oh, it looks like Buscema, but it's from 1981, so it was like an old thing they would put in a comic book shop to sell the book. But it's Buscema. I can see that. So it's from the 60 thing, but it's a 1981 thing. I found that. I mean, I was a little late to the party. I watched the trailer today for Silver Surfer. I'm stoked. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. The Galactus Shadow was amazing. Got me super hyped. I love the 1950s thing. I loved Captain America. One of the cool things about it for me was just going back in time and seeing that. And I love any story, to be honest, adventure story that's just not now or in the future, where there's just because there's no cell phones. It's just like cell phones suck for storytelling. No, but honestly, like, I'm writing a comic book right now with Bo Smith for Moonstone Publishing called The Agents of Danger. And we have these agents, and there's like 5 of them. It's kind of like a super team. Like, imagine Indiana Jones teamed up with Laura Croft, and like we got like a whole 5 people, and they're called the agents, and they're fighting people, and they're fighting these bad guys. And the bad, like, literally the guy has an eye patch. Like, I just went 50s because it's so much funner. You know what I mean? Like how, you can just get out of everything now. Like, all of our problems would have been solved with the computer guy. I just would have put one computer guy, and he would have been like, give me a second. And like, all our problems were over. So I love the old school 50 stuff. That stuff looked good. Let's talk about the Silver Surfer, because everybody's asking me what's my thoughts on the Silver Surfer, because I'm such a huge fan. Now, I don't know if that's Norrin. I still don't know if that's Norrin. I mean, I know a lot of people don't seem to know that Galactus had more than one Herald. My
least favorite was Firelord. I thought that guy sucked. But
Firelord, he didn't stick around for
no, true. It was like maybe like a year. That's about it. Yeah.
Stardust. It could be Stardust. Who knows? I don't know. It's oddly enough, the first character that I ever created in a comic book was with Bo Smith in, I can't remember now, which is fun. Maybe it was Legends, Winona Earp Legends. It was one of the Winona Earp books we were writing together. And the first character I ever got to create was a reporter named Nora Rad.
Nice.
And obviously I did that as my homage to the Silver Surfer. There's no way I'm not watching the movie. I don't care really what it is. I got to see it. I still loved, the Silver Surfer from the movie everybody hated. So I don't care.
Best part of that movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really think it wasn't the Surfer's fault. You had Doug Jones doing the performance, and you had Lawrence Fishburne doing the voice. So it's like,
it was amazing.
The cool part of that movie.
Yeah. The Galactus, we don't need to get into.
No.
It didn't even bug me that he got the power from the board. Other people were all going crazy about that. Who cares, man? It was great. Yeah, we'll see. Same with Superman. I mean, Superman was one of those movies as a kid, you know, like I went to see it in the theater. I went with my dad. We went to see Star Wars. I'm not going to not go see a Star Wars, and I'm not going to not go see a Superman. It's just part of me. I need to see it. I got to know it's Superman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Tim, and anybody. I guess as I get older, I'm more in the I'm not into shitting on things anymore. I just want to go and have fun and enjoy the thing that it is for the way I remember it. Like you said, like you're describing it, like you have those memories. That's the beautiful thing about film. You have these memories of, like, I remember going to see a double feature of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back for the very first time, and I saw Empire Strikes Back. That was the very first time. I didn't go to sleep until probably about 2 a.m. because I could not get over the revelation, right? Like I could not. And it was just like, these are the things you remember. And that's what's awesome about going to the movies and stuff like that. You know, it's thanks to people like you who put in the performances and act and do all those things. So thank you for that, Tim. I don't know why I've got so nostalgic today all of a sudden. It's just a weird part of my life, but that's where it is.
There you go. And I think this is where we're gonna have to just close it off here, because with this, it's a really positive message.
Wow.
Tim, I want to thank you.
I love
so
Tim. That's what it comes down to.
True. I love him too.
You're my favorite person in the world.
Let's not wait 4 years.
No,
exactly. I will make sure. I'll make sure that I keep in touch this time.
Don't worry. I got some. I've been busy. I got some fun movies that we could talk about.
Yeah. So. Well, I definitely, if you've got, what you got coming down the works, I totally want to talk about all of it. So yeah, we'll definitely have you on again, man. Always great to see you. Always a fun chat. And, keep doing what you, and also looking forward to whatever you and Bo got coming next in comic books.
Amazing, guys. What a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great night, man.
Thanks, Tim.
Take it easy.